Welcome, hello, welcome everyone to Turn Order, the Seventh Eon, episode number 1. Hello, 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 hello. How's everyone doing? Welcome to the Stram. Peachy is pretty much done with his character. He's mostly done. So I think we're good.
What's the point? You're gonna fucking kill him anyway.
I mean, that depends. If everybody, decides to just completely ignore your dying carcass.
I mean,
in this campaign too.
Happened before. It'll happen.
I like how in Warped, how when Arthur died, nobody even yelled anything. Nobody was like, "Save Arthur!" or "Grab him quick!" No, they just let you float off into space.
Well, you can't really. There's not a whole lot you can do once he leaves the airlock.
You know, this would be a lot easier if we had an engineer. No fucking shit.
I mean, that's what you paid us for, Whack. Right.
Oh shit! We got a shit raid coming from Brad. I think we need some waxed DMs to prevent this raid from damaging us further.
Quad damage.
Yes. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to episode 1 of the Seventh Eon. Last week we did episode 0. We did some world building. We did some character building. It was a lot of nerdy fun. We came up with cities for the world, and we have a giant canvas for the players to paint upon. Speaking of players to paint upon, why don't we go around the room and introduce peoples? Why don't we do that? Bobby, do you want to start?
I mean, I can. I mean, I'm Bobby, guys. That's who I am. I'm addicted to Fortnite now. That happened this morning.
Is it legit good? Are you enjoying it?
I honestly really enjoyed it this morning. The 4 hours I played it felt like seconds. Surprisingly, I really enjoyed it. So I don't know. We'll see.
I'm gonna pick it up. I'll pick it up.
I think you should. I think you should.
We'll play.
It's a lot of fun.
We'll play.
Here, I play Belmorn Dreltek, the golden dragonborn nobledin is what we'll go with. I'm not going to spoil too much of what's going on with the character, but he's a lawful good character. He's a big badass who's got too much health, and I swing around a massive warhammer in worship of Bahamut. So I got to come up with a good name for the hammer. Chat, you want to name the warhammer?
Keith.
It's on you. Keith.
Terrence Peterson.
So I gotta know, and this is totally like off topic, obviously. But where does that come from?
Terrence Peterson.
Terrence Peterson.
Terrence Peterson. It's my monkey flashlight keychain.
What?
What?
I didn't catch a single word of that.
I heard monkey flashlight.
Monkey flashlight keychain. Yeah.
Oh, so those words that I heard that I thought I imagined, those were actual things that you were
Those
saying.
are real words.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dave, Smoosher, Hammer,
Oh,
McHammerface, Felix, Malcolm, Beldrill. I kind of like Beldrill.
Beldrill, yes.
Yeah.
Beldrill
I like
sounds
Beldrill.
it sounds like an allergy medication.
No, it sounds like a medieval Pokemon.
Yeah, dude.
Maybe it is.
Man out of like an actual bell.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like Bellhop
There's
and
an
Beedrill
ice
had a
cream
baby.
Pokemon, so it can be a hammer. I mean,
The final argument. Oh, that's sick.
That's cool. I like that one too.
I like that.
So we'll get into some specifics with the characters because we're going to spend a little time like trying to figure out some stuff with people's characters because we didn't get a chance to sort of finish everything up last week. So let's continue on. Mac, you want to go next? Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Maquanis. I recently played Horizon Zero Dawn Empire. Really great, beautiful game by Supergiant Games, if you don't know them. And I'm playing Ignia. I'm playing a Fire Genasi morph, and she is a trickster, so she likes to, use her charms and her ways to get some money, get whatever she wants, and it's going to be an interesting character. I'm like super excited.
Excellent. Peachy.
What up? I play Brand Woto.
Peachy Pinksolate. Peachy Pinksolate, I think.
Pastel face. Yeah, on twitch.tv/Peachy Patchel face.
I've never seen you so embarrassed right now, Peachy.
Yeah, I know, you're like literally
fucking glowing.
Semen is not good for the complexion. Unrelated. I'm playing Drab Darb the Bard, who lives in London. Totally not London. Nothing like London. I mean, if you ever went there, you'd think, this is nothing like London. Nope, definitely not. Yeah, that's all I'm giving away right now. Apart from $400 in CSGO skins if you go to CSGO. Hashtag not sponsored. I'm tired. I've got coffee. It'll work.
We're hoping for the CSGO D&D sponsor. That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
We're hoping for that.
Gotta get the
crossover.
cases.
dndlotto.com.
Tilla?
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
You come here often?
I come here every week.
Okay, you just
Just once a week?
I'm gonna
Jesus.
abort. I'm gonna abort. Hi, I'm Charlie, but I'm also Attila. It starts again with the intros. I'm playing Orimihilda Hidemora, and it's a tiny deep gnome. It's not a child, but it's almost a child. She's really tiny, and she's been working in the mines and learned to be a monk from a missionary who came there and became a slave. So I think we're gonna have fun.
I think we are going to have fun. I think this is going to be we're going to have a shitload of fun. I am doubling down on shitload of fun. That's what's going to happen. That's a lot. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm saying that right now. Speaking of a lot of fun, Zagonicus.
Hey everybody, I'm Scoticus, and in this campaign, I will be playing Kelvin Ironbrew, who is a mountain dwarf, also an alchemist, and he travels with his good friend Buster. And I look very much forward to introducing you to both of them. And also seeing how you guys enjoy the entire group, because we've got a very diverse group here.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Like, each of the characters are very cool in their own way.
Yeah, we're very
that, so-
diverse. Everyone is white.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no elves.
Yeah,
no
we did-
else.
Yeah, we're at least trying to bring in some diversity to this group, like the actual human diversity, by making
That's
all of
why
our
I'm
characters
bright
super
pink.
diverse. Yeah, that's why Peachy's altering his hue to his camera.
Can you
But
just
I'm
turn your
Asian, so it's
saturation
okay.
down lower?
Yeah, probably I could.
Yes,
Okay,
Monkey.
I'll do that.
And I am Wacksteven. I'm the DM of Doom. I will be dragging these guys kicking and screaming through the adventure today, and there very well may be kicking and screaming. There usually is in my campaigns, so we'll see how things work. But I'm excited. I've been doing a ton of work on this campaign, a ton of collaboration with a lot of you wonderful people, and I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for contributing so many things. I literally have 19 pages that are about halfway edited, formatted, worth of city information that myself, chat, and the players have contributed to make this world a real sort of place. Basically, what he's saying is Brad Wodo wrote this campaign. No. Brad doesn't actually write any campaigns. Just an FYI. He hires this weird unknown guy named what was it? Pewdy Cake? I think it's
Cake,
yeah,
yes.
Pewdy Cake.
Pidy Pew.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that was it.
Jack
to
Spadowski.
write all of his.
I think
I do
it's
play.
Jack Septic Tank or something like that as well.
Oh yeah,
Jack Spadacy.
I heard of him. But
Jack
I'm
Spadacy.
Yeah. But we've had lots of wonderful fan art. If you guys want to hang out and talk about the show or check out some of the fan art, you can head on over to the Discord, which Jen is all over. pretty much. But yeah, why don't we get started? By the way, Peachy, can you choose a character token, please?
Yeah, that one right there.
Can you make a character, please?
Oh, this guy'll do.
That guy?
Yeah, I wish he had grey hair, but it'll do.
I mean, Goliaths don't actually have hair, just an FYI.
It can't be as bad as my first pick. I'm a golden male dragonborn. I snap picked a couple nights ago, like almost passed out. I picked a red female dragonborn. Like,
I mean, you could have went gnome. You could have went like gnome. Then I feel like that's basically the polar opposite. But yeah.
I'd love to see custom tokens by the stream though. Like that would be cool.
Custom tokens from the stream? Yeah. I mean, if somebody wants to get creative.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have like.
Is that the red skull?
It is, yeah. I've seen that too. Right here.
I forget. I
cool.
forget what that token actually is called. Like what it is in the pack. But it had like a name for it or something. It wasn't the red skull. It had like
the rouge skull.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Bobby. That's a WoW class. Okay.
The Crimson Cranium.
So yeah, let's talk, I guess, a little bit about what's going on with the characters and such, because we had a lot of city discussion and everything last session, but we didn't really get a chance to talk too much about the characters. We sort of went over like a little bit about the classes and where people were headed with the kind of style that they wanted to do for their character, but we didn't necessarily talk about the characters and their bonds, their flaws, stuff like that. What they look like. Like, I'd really like to get into like the actual like looks, so that people can start to get that headspace worked out for everyone's characters.
Doris likes a load of slutty French girls. That's the meme, right? Memes. On CSGO Lotto. Memes.
Wow.
That'll get me every goddamn time. Every fucking time.
Why, you type in the address immediately, Bobby? So let's talk a little bit about what's going on with the characters and such. I think before we talk exactly what every character's like, why don't we discuss the guild? Why don't we discuss the guild that you guys belong to? Because that's something we didn't work out. So what I'd like to do is to sort of explain like some things about the guild. I'd like to come up with a name for the guild, and I would like you guys to come up with the leader of the guild. So
Of our group or
the guild. You guys are
Yeah,
part
okay.
of a mercenary adventure.
no. But like none of us are the leader, right? Yeah.
Correct. You guys are not the leader.
I was about to say that would be.
So yeah, as far as like background for the guild itself, the only thing, and by the way, Peachy, just draw with like the brush or something, just to fucking choose your token so that I can pick one, because I want to set that up.
Just clicked on him. Where is he?
Yeah, but if you're like pinging, I've got like 10,000 things I'm looking at, so I missed it.
Draw a circle around him.
There's a good random generator here. There's the Iron Foxes. That's the worst name I've ever seen. This generator sucks.
We could just have chat.
Is that the one you're talking about, Peachy?
It wasn't. No. Oh, it's the guy with the eye patch over here.
Okay.
Glory of the Tainted. I don't like any of these. These guild names are baloney. Strangers of the Cheeky. What is this generator I'm using?
I do like Dave.
Dave.
Dave. Dave's guild.
Dave.
I can't wait till we ham fist that into every episode.
Just imagine
Can't wait.
if you think about like which silly like WoW guild names there were always in like you see coming around.
The guild's solely called Method and or Exorcist or Limit or except
Cheeky
our
strangers.
guild members don't like account share and buy accounts and shit and get banned.
Glory of the
Okay,
Taint.
we have a great one.
There's the Righteous End, Sacrificed Vanguardians,
Dick
Revenge. I'm just going through all
Parsons'
these.
best men.
Greybane,
Guilty McGuildface.
Humble Blades, Vanguard. Yeah, I don't know. Boon of the Ruined, Warlords of the Strong. I'm just going through these random generators. Shadow Forge, Tasty Inferno.
The Tasty Inferno.
Barangyan.
Tasting.
I'm pretty sure that's a sexual position.
I don't know, man.
97% sure.
Which generator do you have? I see
Not
straight ones as
69%
well.
sure.
Ah, my sides, Charlie. They hurt. Oh, man.
The Guild. Just
Humble
the Guild.
Thugs. Widows of the Maze.
Sore Widowmakers. What is this generator?
Is it
I'm gonna
Overwatch
put it in
salt?
chat.
Yeah.
Can we just have all of them?
Icky Gang.
It's like known
That's
as the
it.
guild, but everyone calls it a different thing.
The stone.
Massive Vigor.
The stone
Massive
talons.
vigor. Oh.
Fallen Maggots.
That's actually my MySpace account.
It would be.
This is gonna take all night. I know. Next, this is just our guild naming episode.
Fighters of the Fearless kind of seems cool. I don't know.
We should just have something short.
Warriors of the Oranges.
No.
Yes, I'm down with that.
I'm not
100%.
joining.
Let's
I
do
would-
it.
Belmorn
Do
leaves
it.
the guild.
Fucking do it.
No. This is gonna be the shortest fucking like guild existence ever. Insta death. Suddenly, 5 dragons.
Gamaliel's Guard. I'm
The
dying.
circle. We could
Not
call it the
biased.
circle.
Fairy
That's a cool
tale.
name.
Assorted Valor.
Hellfire hooligans.
Arthur died too young.
Refugees.
Triangle.
Swift Roses. Golden Hearts.
The
Fortune of
hexagon.
death.
We need to have like a tagline as well. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
like our house line.
We
Like,
work cheap.
The guild should be called Girth, and our tagline should be flaccid but thick.
Stream not safe for work.
Oh yeah, you should almost
Totally.
put an exclaimer.
Oh,
at the beginning
Bilbo.
of this one,
Yes,
too.
definitely. What? I have an 18. I have a thing that pops up on the
A
on the
mature
screen.
warning.
Yeah, it's a mature warning. What do you think, man?
Good.
Yeah, no
Knights,
kids here.
Knights Raiders. It should be just Knights Riders.
Well,
Mighty Privilege.
I vote privilege.
White power.
the Seventh Sons.
God, Charlie.
The
Did you just? Did that actually? Is that what you really said?
That totally just
My
happened.
brain sort of registered it.
Iron
as a bad.
Iron Foxes isn't bad.
It's not bad. The first one, it's actually not bad.
It means we're cunning, but we're
Oh,
also
nice.
magnetic.
Yes. Yes.
That could be the tagline: cunning and magnetic.
Order of the Maple Leaf Wars. What I see here.
Oh, that's a great one. We should go with that. That's great. Great White
Sakura
North.
flowers.
Yeah, you
Fields.
guys are gonna
Petal.
have to wait a while though before you do anything really important.
Yeah. All right, let's
Tears of
see.
the Nations that are doodles. Who the fuck came up with this?
Iron Foxes. Anyone in chat like super opposed?
We
Anyone
could do like
for
a
it?
really quick
I
poll.
kind of like Iron Foxes. There's nothing. It's
It
I'll
sounds
give
like
you a
It's
quick.
It's coming back to
Yeah.
me. It's coming back to me. The more
yeah,
we
Iron
it's
say
Foxes.
coming
it.
back.
Iron
Yeah.
Foxes is the guild name. We have
Wow.
Okay,
decided.
vote
Short,
yeas and vote
yes.
nays.
Yeah, yay or
Did
nay.
it
for
vote
Iron
Konami's gonna
Fox.
sue the shit out of us.
Konami. Fuck
Konami.
Konami.
Okay, so yeah, we're the Iron,
Iron
Foxes.
Foxes.
Yay.
Iron
Yay.
Foxes.
Yay, vote yays.
And we
Yeah,
need
we're
we
good.
need a guild leader name. We need a guild leader name.
Keith.
While we're getting the chat to
Yeah.
help us out with that, I just want to go over a couple things. Namely the bonds that you guys created based on the last episode. So I kept track of everything, and here's where the bonds should be. So, Belmorn, aka Bobby, you have a +1 with Kelvin and Ori. Kelvin, you have a +1 with Drab and Ori. When I'm reading these, by the way, guys, only the person that I say first is adding those bonds. Ignia, you're adding a +1 with Drab.
How do I add that?
You just make a note of it someplace.
Oh, okay.
I'll talk about it in a bit. Drab, you have no bonds. You have 0 bonds.
Drab.
I have a bond with the entire city of Llundain.
He knows every single person.
Everyone.
You're gonna have to add every one
Oh
of
my
those as
God.
a contact in your sheet.
You
though.
just helped me pick my 5th level spell. Legend Lore. Good call, Bobby. Good call.
No sweat, bud. Gotcha. I gotcha.
Ori, you have a +1 with Kelvin.
Kelvin. Who's playing Kelvin?
That would be Zagaldicus.
Okay. I don't remember the names. I'm sorry.
It's on the
Red
screen.
of the orange.
It's on the screen as well. Okay, so as
Oh,
far
yeah.
as
Shit.
guild leader names, we're not involving Brad in any way, shape, or form. First and foremost, I think that is important to mention.
Thomas Vulpin.
Action,
can-
Because
action
it's the Iron
Cedric.
Foxes.
Can I add a bond with someone? I mean, Belmorn and me, we know each other, so
Nope.
should
Yeah,
we
it's-
have a bond?
He does. He has a bond with you, but you don't have one with him. You didn't help him with his Bahaman mission.
Yeah, no one helped me with my fucking mission. Y'all
what
left
about
me
the curse
to my holy
thing,
war.
then? Do we not get bonds from that?
So, great question.
Could I have helped him?
I still have to add the curse. So
You don't have a bond, but you're just all cursed together. That's a bond.
so I still have to add the curse. So we're gonna add that on there. I did forget about that.
I'm sorry.
Where
that
was
I
that?
have to remind you.
No, it's fine. I don't care. So
Open FD.
just so we can see where the chat cities were located. I'm gonna go all around the map, and we're gonna talk about where all these cities ended up being. The chat city ended up being Kanaz over in Mutsog. Oops.
Ooh.
And the players are going to have to figure out how they were involved in this curse. So I'm going to give you guys some info. Because it was Drabdarb, Ignia, and Belmorn were involved with this threat that was here. You guys are going to get an extra bond with each other. So Drabdarb, you have a bond with Ignia and Belmorn. Ignia, you have a bond with Drabdarb and Belmorn.
Do I get to +2 then for bad drop, or is that not like?
Yes, you do.
Okay, so it
It's
does
added.
add.
Yes.
Okay.
And Belmorn, you get one for Drabdarb and Ignia.
Oh, cool.
I believe Belmorn is in the lead with bonds. If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
I know. I got a bond with all
We're
of you.
getting loads of names here. Stephen Waxon looks pretty good.
Stephen Wax.
Stack
Well, yeah, 'cause-
Beefin, also pretty good.
Yeah, he's gonna live forever, so that's a good one. He's basically immortal. So
Oh, so you want someone immortal? Peachy Pixelate?
I mean, if you, it depends on your it depends on your actual like definition of immortal. If you
Something
mean like
that cannot possibly die ever.
so you mean if like they die really early on, but they live on in everyone's hearts.
In everyone's hearts.
Can we do like Cloven Lupin as in a memoir to Cloven?
Can we do who?
Cloven Lupin, as in like the
Cloven Lupin?
Because he was sort of immortal, even though everyone was convinced that he was gonna die, but he lived on. He was,
Well,
Oh.
it was Cloven. Oh God, what was his last name?
I don't know if he had one.
He did have a last name.
I thought his first name was Oi and his second name was what the fuck is that?
Penny
Crab
Skeetus.
Penny
Yeah, I love
Skenis? Oh
Cloven.
my
I
god,
think
that's hilarious.
Cloven would be a good name for Lee because he was actually
No,
like,
fuck
Rand
Cloven.
Randeel would be a cool.
You know,
cool
Oh
name.
yeah, Rendio.
Tilla, I would like to
Randy
say
Vulpin.
you never gave Cloven a fair shake. I mean, that was it was hurtful how you treated him,
was-
frankly.
Yeah, but did you see how he looked?
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, but did
Did
you
you
see how
see-
you look?
Did you
Do you look
see-
in the
Did-
mirror,
Did you
Peachy?
see his face? Did you
We
see it?
still
I
hang
mean,
out
I
with
can
you.
see him. He didn't really
Wow.
have a personality to back it up. I think he was
Uh,
pretty. He was slowing us down the entire time. He didn't do anything but be
yeah.
an annoyance.
Saved our
Yeah.
lives multiple occasions.
It's because he put us there in the first place. I think Cloven was the one that is behind everything.
Plot
Yeah.
twist. Weeks after the show ended, Cloven
Can't
is
believe it.
Strahd.
I can't believe it.
Rude.
There's some really good. I'm looking at just name generators for the guild leader. There's some Anglo-Saxon names are pretty interesting. Kind of feel
Yes.
fitting. Grimwald
Oh,
of
that's a good one,
Lampor.
Duka.
We have
Can
a
we call him like Mr.
Thor
something?
rig.
Can we call
Where
him
is it?
what?
Thor's-
Like rather than his
Mr.
full like
Fox?
Mr. Fox. Yeah, like he doesn't like he has a real name, but like he has a guild name, right?
Why don't we do a different? Why don't we do a
Like a
different?
trail name.
Yeah, well, why don't we do like a different version of Fox? So like, there's different words for
Kitsune.
Fox.
Kitsune.
Mr. Vulpin.
Is that too Japanese?
Yeah, Vulpin. I
I
like
like
Vulpin
Vulpin
a
is
little bit
cool.
better. Yeah, I don't think I want to use like a
Yeah,
Japanese phrase.
Vulpin sounds better for the.
We can say Mr. Vulpin. Sure. Mr.
Randio
Vulpin.
Vulpin. I mean, we could do Randio Vulpin.
Is he a
'cause
silver
Randio's
fox?
in it.
Could be no one knows his first name, but it is totally Randy.
Yeah.
Randy Vulpin.
Yeah, sure. There you go.
horny
Mr.
fox.
Randy Vulpin. Absolutely.
Yeah, give him something more than that, like the Third or Esquire or like Incorporate or something.
Well, I mean, he has Master of the
LTD.
Guild. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he does.
LLC or something.
He does
Master
have the
of
guild.
Esquire, Lord.
He does have the Guildmaster tag added to him. So yeah, chat came up with Kanaz, which is over in Mutsog. And let's get a little information about Kanaz. It's the capital of Mutsog. The city is known for fanatical atheism, severe military tradition, forced military service conscription. They're constantly looking to expand their borders and often have fights with surrounding countries. The population is very interesting. It's got a sort of almost even spread between races that are not found super often in the rest of the world, and it's one of the only locations for tabaxi, which are sort of like cat people. So we have tabaxi 30%, genasi 30%, and it's mostly like a combination of fire and water genasi, and 30% Arakakra. There's 10% basically a smattering of a bunch of other races. It's kind of rare to find a lot of the other races. They're probably not treated very well. It's a Renaissance level culture. Religion is outlawed in the city. Outlawed. Holy symbols being displayed gets you prison time. Fanaticism towards a certain religion gets you burned at the stake. It's sort of like a reverse on like old religion and
That's
whatnot.
cool.
Yeah. It's a militocracy. It's governed by like strong military leadership. It's kind of a little bit like North Korea. Got that going on? Yeah. There's like 3 different kinds of architecture. This is a heavy jungled area. If you guys ever played Final Fantasy XII, it's like the Celica wood, giant trees. At the base of the trees typically live most of the population of Genasi and some of the other races. Carved into the center of the trees sort of lives most of the tabaxi, and sort of in the canopy of the trees live the Arakakra. There are basically like wooden perches up there for the Arakakra, sort of like, you know, like a very open kind of environment. they have sort of only like one real alliance, and that's with Gunnelbar, which is where Tilla's city was, Marak and Karam, and they have a conflict with a lot of other places. They're generally kind of hostile. They have conflicts with Bahamon, Pramantha, which is Ignia's starting city. Bahamon is Belmorn's, and Fafel Devere. Their main threat that chat came up with, that chat voted on, was a curse. And this curse is that male children are not being born for several years now. The population is starting to get very worried. And thoughts of religion are starting to creep into their society.
And this is in the
Kanaz.
chat city.
I mean, I say we leave them to it, and then in about 18 years, we head over there.
Dude, I'm about to march on up with the next fucking Dragonborn crusade, my buddy. Don't you worry. That's what this is just going to turn into, the Bahamut crusade. That's all this is going to be. The Dragonborn are going to take over the whole fucking map. It's going to be great. Y'all are going to be Dragonborn when your characters die. And it's going to be a wonderful world. Can't wait.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the future of the campaign.
So, Drabdarb, Ignia, and Belmorn, how are you involved in this threat?
So the curse is that only males get born.
No, male children are not being born. So
Oh,
basically,
only males.
we'll say for like the last 5 years or so, no male children have been born.
In Knaz?
Yes.
So
It's not a
it's
city of women.
difficult.
It's a city of mixed peoples, but the next generation appears to not have any men, which is obviously a problem for breeding once they reach a certain point. And it's with all of the races.
It's gonna be interesting
Maybe
because
they're
like
killing the
I
children.
assume that they were the same people that also like tried to take over our village.
Oh, yeah.
City.
Yeah, basically your village refused their demands of the special meteorite metal that you process and forge.
So I'm trying to figure out like why the hell would I go to Ganas if they want to
That's
maybe
the
to
challenge.
infiltrate. Yeah, I think then in that case I would have gone there to infiltrate, gain information, to see if they, were planning on attacking us again, and then because obviously there's still Ganassi and like with my more skills and my ways of tricking people, I managed to make them fool that it was me. So I honestly think I would have met like Belmont and
Belmorn.
Belmorn and Drap and Ori, right? All of them, but not as myself.
Ori was not involved with this threat.
Yeah,
Oh, I
just
thought it was. Oh,
you,
okay,
me,
okay.
and Drab.
So I think we met each other, but we know you didn't meet me, if that makes sense.
Is
But I
this
don't know
something
how
that
we could
happened
be-
before the guild? Or I feel like
yeah,
it
It's
was
up to you guys.
Yeah,
honestly, I don't know
think-
if we would have gone up there together if it wouldn't
No,
have been
I
for
would
the
be
guild.
going there on my own.
You guys had to interact with each other somehow
Yeah.
on this
Yeah.
mission. You learned the whole point of these bonds are so that you guys were met up, and this is how you know each other, right? So this helped establish your relationships.
I'd say the only way I think that if this takes place prior to the guild being formed, the only way that Belmorn would end up in Naz, especially with Naz being so atheistic and so militant against religion, it would probably be like a request of the Holy Prophet to go and see why there's no children, no males being born. Like, it just seems like it's such an unholy feat. Like, it's such an unholy thing that it would be that regardless of if Naz is atheistic or not, that the Holy Prophet would definitely want it investigated. So I would probably be up there like almost as, I don't know, for like reconnaissance to some extent. But the thing is, I'm always adorned with armor and insignia and just religious garb all the time. So
You would be unable to enter the city if you were wearing those things.
that's what I mean. So it
I
doesn't
could
really
have met you before I could have used my ear and help you disguise.
Yeah,
So you
maybe-
could get in the city because that's my proficiency.
Yeah, that's sick.
And
That's sick.
but the only thing is because I have to think because I helped Drap or Darp or Drap, whatever it is, and like the other side of the world, right? Technically, or continent.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be
So
super
I'm-
close in timing. This could
Yeah,
be
I know,
something.
I know. But I'm just thinking, like, I feel like in that case, it's just weird. Let's just say, I'm just thinking how it would make sense for my like leaving the city, because it would make sense that I first do this and then go to Drap, so like meet Drap again. So I would say this is the first time I see any of them, and I help disguise Belmorn to get into the city, because like obviously that's my thing, and I am there because I need to gather intel for my own city, village, whatever. I think that could work, because like if you need to disguise and not seem like a religious person, then I think that could be a good thing that I could do and help you with.
We could have had it so that, like, in a roundabout way, the Church of Bahamut sort of hired you and Drab, and I sort of was like the overseer to some sense. Like, maybe I could be like on a barge or a fucking boat out in the middle of the lake, waiting for you guys to complete your mission or whatever in Nas, and I'd swoop in, row on the rowboat, and pick you up or something to that extent. Because I don't know if I honestly don't feel that Belmorn would ever give up his holy symbols, like, or cover them in any way. Like, that is so against what Belmorn would do. So I don't think, honestly, like, even though it fits that he could be disguised, he would never do it.
Okay.
So maybe something like that. Maybe we were.
It's just weird because it makes no sense that I would be there on a mission hired by someone else.
Well, maybe you were. Maybe someone higher up in the church hired you and Drab almost as.
But I also don't have as much with religion as a character in general.
It doesn't have to be religion. They could have just been literally hiring mercenaries to investigate the curse in Naz. And
Especially
I was like, your
Yeah,
contact
but that
point.
it has to be
Especially-
my village setting.
But they could have checked with your village, because you guys obviously have poor
That
relations
could
with
work,
Mutsog. You could look at it like this: they can't go in there, so they need somebody else to do it. And maybe Belmorn was the guy that was like in charge of the mission,
Yeah.
but not
Yeah, okay.
involved directly. You know what I mean?
Kind of like the
Radar-
middleman, but
Yeah.
Not quite. Like kind of a little more than the middleman, but I don't go into. I can't go into.
I am an expert investigator, so there's many reasons why.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, basically, you could look at it like this. What if one of the mission... I'm sure that Bahamut sends missionaries out to Chlundane all the time. You know?
There's probably even missionaries being sent to Naz, like, by, every other year, and they're just either slaughtered or turned away, you know?
Yeah.
So I'd say there was like a reconnaissance,
Or-
it was like a mission for reconnaissance to either learn about the curse and see if we can figure out about that. Do we lift the curse? Is that what this is about?
No.
We're just gaining information on the curse.
Well, basically, you were involved. You were trying to get info on the curse. This is these threats are supposed to be still affecting the world. And they're ways that, there's things that you guys learn about and interact with each other to start help establish your relationships.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I just thought, then if we would be there, we meet each other, and then later on I travel back to my city, and then eventually make way to and end up where how's that city called again? Your
Naz?
city? No,
Bahamut.
Drap City, Bahamut.
Oh no, or Chlundane.
Yeah, I
Glendane,
never
that I
pronounce it, no.
eventually end up in Glendane, because that would also
Just put
make
an H in front of it, Bobby.
Chlendane, I can do that.
There you go.
Glendane. But yeah, that I then made up there, and then see Drap, and then be like, oh wait, because I would assume that you find Charlie after. I mean, sorry, not Charlie, Ori after this, and then we eventually meet up with the guild.
I think that's very possible. So as far as what you guys learned, in regards to the threat, I'd like Drab to roll me investigation. I would like Ignia to roll me. Let's see. I think for you, we're gonna say stealth. Ho! Oh, the first official roll of the campaign by Peachy is a 29. You guys are so dead. So dead.
We're dead.
Yeah, you see the
I
second
did
roll.
roll 1.
Ooh.
Not bad.
Okay, and Belmorn, let's see.
Persuasion?
I think what I'm going to have you do is...
Deception?
No, you're not going to be deceiving. You're leading. I think we're going to have you roll...
Animal handling.
I'm going to say... Well, I'll say you can roll me persuasion. That's
Persuasion?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the best one for you, I think. Okay.
I'm gonna use inspiration. No, no, yeah, just an 8.
Yeah, and
That's
Peach,
probably why we had to hire mercenaries, because I couldn't get in myself or something to that extent.
right.
Maybe.
Yeah, and okay, fair enough. So basically, what you guys learned, Drab. And this is up to you to sort of disseminate this information between the other two as you like. What you learned about this curse was that it appears that a god, and you're not sure which one, a god, an actual god, placed this curse upon Mutzag. Let's see. And Ignia, you learned that the military leadership of Kanaz knows this, and they're not telling the people.
Ooh, shit.
So they know that the god, or
Mhm.
that they just let him do it.
Or
Yes.
a god, I guess.
Yes.
Say what?
And now we're after the fact.
Yeah, I mean, this is later. I mean, this is an event that happened in your three's history.
Cool.
Okay.
So is that something you would have? I guess that's probably something you would have shared with Belmorn, because he would have passed the information on to the church, probably.
I definitely would have told you. Yes, definitely.
Cool. Yeah, I like that. That's
But
probably what the church
probably
wanted to
because
ascertain.
I wanted to personally know which god it was, and you're the kind of person that can help with that.
The holy man. Yep.
You're like
Yeah,
a
so I guess
cone.
that works. I don't think that, like, if all you found out was it was just a god, I don't think that the church would even tell me what it was when they further investigated, like the higher ups,
Mhm.
like did some serious inquiring, whatever the fuck,
Inquiring.
whichever word fits
It's
there.
pronounced torturing until they tell you what you want to hear.
Bahamut, they don't torture.
They just
Maybe.
ask
We'll see.
questions
With
really
fire.
loudly.
Yeah, and
With their
gently
fire breath.
pat
They just get
them
angry
with
and they breathe fire, and then it's not, they don't mean
Fetch the
to.
comfy pillows.
I have like, anytime anybody mentions like an Inquisition, I have a flashback of Mel Brooks' History of the World Part 1. Do you remember that? The Inquisition, what a show! The Inquisition.
I always
I
go
don't
for
have that
no
one.
one expects the Spanish Inquisition. That's
Yeah.
one I always
That's
go
only
for.
one I got too.
But yeah,
Or Eddie Izzard's tea and cake or death little skit. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Why are they hiding it? Like, it would
Well-
be bad for the city itself.
It's because they're so militaristic. They don't want to have anything that could be birthed into the minds of their populace that would sway their opinion on the.
yeah,
what's
and
going on.
so I'm gonna say, because of your horrible persuasion roll, Belmorn, that Ignia and Drab basically reported to you that they didn't find out anything.
Cool. Sounds good. So
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, the mission was a failure, and like you guys just had to get out on your end of things.
okay.
Yeah.
We found out. No. Info gained. Mission failure. Who?
Okie doke. Now that we've gotten that sort of figured out, I think let's just do a little bit of a refresher on whose city was like created and whatnot. And I'm just gonna go over like the capital cities, just like super quick. I'm just gonna say like a quick like little blurb about them. Let's see. So let's start. I guess let's go in reverse order. Let's start with Zagoticus. Talk a little bit about your character, and the city that you created.
So Kelvin is a redhead. He's a redhead, and he's a dwarf. And Lesia, the city that he was born and grew up in, is very political, and the people there care a lot about their appearance and their reputation, and it's like families are very strict, and you need to make sure that you're representing your family well and all the rest of it. He didn't particularly represent his family well in his family's opinion, but in his own, he's his own man and whatever. All that kind of politics and nonsense is the reason he left Lesia for the most part. And he's tired of trying to make someone else's name, so he's out in the world to make his own name, pretty much, with his companion Buster at his side wherever he goes.
Okay, and you're an alchemist.
Yeah.
What do alchemists get to do in the? We're basically just in case you guys missed it, we're using some classes from the Touch of Class book that was published by Morris, who's also the sponsor of the Turner Warped campaign. And he created, basically he published this. He didn't actually create the classes, but there's some super good classes in there, and we've got a few of them. So why don't you talk a little bit about the Alchemist?
So the Alchemist is you can do some alchemy things in standard D&D, but the Alchemist class is way better at them. So if in downtime I want to create alchemist fire acids or anything else that you would make normally with alchemy, I do it 5 times faster. And also in combat I make bombs to attack with. I attack with bombs, which is pretty cool, and you can kind of choose what you put in your bomb to give it different damage types and stuff, so it's flexible on that front.
So what you're saying is your character has no eyebrows.
Well, he's a dwarf, so they grow back very bushy and very quickly, so it's fortunate.
It's like Wolverine, but
yeah.
He's like the only dwarf in the world who appears to have trimmed eyebrows. They
Yeah. Yeah. He's a nice, good person, but he maybe a little bit short-tempered, and that's just because you got to be serious about your work when you're an alchemist, because it's dangerous work. But yeah, alchemist, blowing things up, creating alchemy stuff really well, really quickly, and get a bunch of spells and stuff as well, and it's all really cool stuff. And you get a bunch of rituals as well. You can just take spells and cast them as rituals, which is super cool. So I got a bunch of spells that I couldn't normally cast as rituals, but because I'm not casting them magically, I'm casting them alchemically, which is not the same as magic. There's a distinct difference that I won't distinguish. but there is, then I can cast some spells as a ritual that you couldn't normally.
Cool. I gave everybody a pool of magical items to choose from. Which magical items did you take?
So I took Sage's studded leather armor of lights. And that gives me a +1 bonus to history intelligence checks. I'm a bit of a bookworm, so that's useful. I've even got a lore book that I carry with me. I can also cast the dancing lights spell once per day, which lets me cast lights and move them around. It's a funky little spell. So I took that one. And I also took the Fortune Teller's bracers of the surgeon. So with those, every time I'm hit by a monster, I catch a glimpse of random image of their future or past. And I also get a +1 bonus to medicine checks because I'm an alchemist and I occasionally make medicines. So
Very cool.
stuff that's helpful to me. Yep, but I only took 2.
Very cool. Why don't we continue on with Ori? Ori.
Yep. Yeah.
Who is your character, and what city are they from, and what's it about?
My character comes from Karam. And Karam is pretty much 2 cities. So there's one on top, which is Maroc. And it's ruled by this kind of mafia family that deals with everything in Karam, in the underground place. But they also see that everyone who joins or goes down to Karam are allowed there and so forth. In Karam, they had a lot of slaves. You're not allowed to leave unless you have probably some kind of identity paper or allowance from the local guilds or the gangs that is ruling at the time. And I'm playing Orimi Hilda, and she's a small, deep gnome with short black hair. She is very scrawny from working in the mines and so forth. She was pretty much a slave, didn't know her parents, would always be working until she met the missionary. I don't remember his name.
Did we come up with a name for the missionary?
I don't think we did.
Let's see.
For the Dragonborn missionary?
Yeah.
I don't think we did. Dragonborn, Dragonkin names. You want it to be a dude or her girl?
Don't matter.
Don't matter. There's Sesku, Senrath, Kulna, Mektozi.
Maybe they were non-binary.
There's neutral Dragonborn names.
Take a neutral Dragonborn name.
Endis, Anghu, Elsie. Endis, E-N-D-A-S.
Yes.
What was it?
E-N-D-A-S.
Okay. Endis.
Right. So Endis taught her everything about being a monk and taught her how to kind of fight and meditate and stuff like that, while she was also kind of working in the mines and being a slave and everything. It's real terrible. So Balmor went after Endis, and that's when he found Ori. So she's probably been kind of around him since.
So you and Belmorn have sort of developed a bit of a relationship, kind of probably a trustful relationship,
like a mentor and like a young person. Oh God, the bug I killed is still moving.
Oh, you just eat it now. You gotta just eat it. Eat the
Kill
bug.
it harder.
Oh, that's so
Channel channel your inner Dragonborn, and just eat the bug.
Okay, I'm gonna,
Okay, fair enough. Drabdarb. Why don't you talk about your character and your city that you created?
So, Drab is from a very big city full of a lot of people. He was the captain of the guard, but has since been asked to retire. which he did, but got bored and needed a bit of adventure in his life, so he went out looking for it. The city is just a hub of anything. Just think of like the biggest city near you, with just all those people and all that stuff to deal with, politics, everything, because he was the captain of the guard. He was involved in so many different aspects of the city, but really he just likes going out and solving crimes. I think that's why he probably was like, I'll retire because this is a lot more. Why do I have to wear this hat with this ploomf? I don't know. I don't want to meet another fucking. Who's this guy? I don't care. Look, thief! And then he runs off.
Okay.
He likes getting his hands dirty. He's not really a pen pusher, which is what they wanted him to be. So he was pushed towards retirement.
What does Drabdarb look like?
He's a big old giant, big old man. Girthy. He's wearing half plates, which is cool. He's got a mustache, Whack. He's got a big old curly mustache.
Where did he buy it from?
Walrus. I mean, that's not for you to know. There's plenty of places in the city a man can buy a mustache and not be questioned.
Bless you. Bless you.
He's a little old-fashioned.
Third one? Come on.
I forgot I have my microphone on. I'm sorry. I didn't hear that.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. And Ignia?
So Ignia is from Pramantha, which is a city near Ori City, where obviously Gnas is trying to take over.
No slaves.
No slaves, exactly. You got it right. In my city, they are. We have the only place where they can mine, and the blacksmiths that can work with. My brain just doesn't work right now. Meteorites. Good job. Yeah, I don't know why I can come up with the word. And we have a lot of like peddlers and traders there. And eventually I go away with one of them. And Ignia is a slender, pretty good looking fire genasi. She has red long hair, which almost seems to be on fire, but obviously it's not. She has like pale red skin and as well dark red eyes. She's about like medium height, like 178 centimeters. I thought that's like average.
That's my height. She's pretty tall.
Really?
Yeah.
It's shorter than Netherlands for
yeah,
most
for
people,
Netherlands,
but...
yeah. I'm like a micro chibi, and Peachy is. They don't actually see Peachy. He's like non-existent there.
But yeah,
I'm like a badger. I'm vicious. I might be short and cute, but I'm vicious. Okay.
Oh, wow. But yeah, she's a.
Storing that one for later.
She's she's like I mean, she's playing a morph. She is a tricky woman. She definitely uses her ways of disguise as well as just in general, like ways to like roll people to her like hands and clip. So I don't know if I shall say what items I have, but the special magical items are the regal leather armor of the Veil, which is a richly decorated armor. It's very fashionable. I can also use it in like fights as well as like a ballroom. And I also have a mask, the Renaissance mask of Acumen.
How many are we allowed to take?
As many as you want.
As many as you
money.
money for him.
You have money.
So yeah, she's
but save money for transportation, Peachy.
Yeah, she can shapeshift and turn into things as well. Not just like a druid, but also, I mean,
other things that you may see in the future.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, and you're playing a morph, so that's quite a bit different, I think, than people are used to. I guess the closest thing is a druid, but the morph is meant to, I guess, have a little bit more flexibility on what they can sort of become, right?
Yeah, I can literally turn into pretty much like, even like how's it called? Like plants or something, like mushrooms or stuff like that. But yeah, I have my like the way I have my character like focused is very much on like tricking, deceiving, as more as like not as much as like turn into like big beasts compared to that. What is this dead episodes do? What did I do?
He's referencing Morph from the X-Men
Oh, I haven't seen
in
X-Men.
the old cartoon.
Okay. Well, I hope I don't die in the episode too. That would be nice. Yeah. I don't know what else I could say.
Okay, fair enough. And last but not least, Belmorn.
Okay, where to start? So basically, I'm playing a Dragonborn, a Golden Dragonborn, but I'm playing a noble. I'm multiclassing. I'm half noble, half paladin. So the noble is a class from the Touch a class from Morris, and it's a really interesting class. It's more think support. I chose the archetype, the Path of the Brave, so I get a lot of really interesting things through that and through just the base features. So, like, give an example of one of the things I could do. I can do, and this is once per turn. Whenever I take the action ability, I can choose one ally within 30 feet to use their reaction to make a single weapon attack. So there's a lot of, like, it's very support focused, but I am playing a paladin as well, and I'm very heavily armored. The starting item that I took is the Surgeon's Plate of the Fae. And this is like, here, I have a Imgur link that is pretty much exactly what Belmorn looks like. Just swap out the helmet and the head for a Dragonborn. So I'll put it in Zoom chat, and I'll also drop it in.
Yeah, you can put it in
Twitch chat too. So that's pretty much what Belmorn looks like.
Oh.
He is literally a holy warrior of the church of Bahamut. So the cross on the chest is a picture of Bahamut. The shield has Bahamut in some crazy.
You look like the God Emperor of mankind, Bobby.
Pretty much, yeah. The actual Warhammer itself, instead of like a typical Warhammer, it almost looks like it's a tooth, like a giant tooth, and the hammer is like the ground down end of the bigger part of it, and there is like a hook, like the tooth in the other side. I have a picture of what. Oh, that's a way too long of a link. I'm not going to post that. But he has striking blue eyes, like piercing blue eyes, like almost like diamonds to some extent. They sparkle. He is about 6'10". He's a big boy, about 375 pounds, and he's golden. So I have resistance against fire and some flame breath as well that I get to do. But my starting city, my character himself, he's from Undir, and he's a noble from Undir, the capital of Radun, which is the Dragonborn. I guess, I don't know. What do you call it? Not country. It's like the...
It's definitely one of the locations that has a lot of Dragonborn. Baruk Tath also has a fair amount of Dragonborn.
Oh, cool.
But
so it's probably like primarily Dragonborn in Radun, and I'm a noble from Undir. But and like so, half of my character was like all my noble levels come from Undir, and then when I became a paladin, I traveled to Bahamut, and that's sort of where my character resides currently. And Bahamut is the holy city of Bahamut, which is the religion, and Bahamut's basically like the good god of the dragons, more or less. He's pretty badass. But it's holy city of Bahamut. It's Renaissance era culture. It's a theocracy. The holy prophet rules above all, and he's like think of like the Pope,
Pope,
Dragonborn, a dragon pope. It's very opulent. It's a very fine city. There's not many people living there, probably only about 1,000. Picture like the size of the Vatican. Probably about 1,000 people living there at any given time, but there's people coming through all the time on pilgrimage.
Lots of tourists and everything. And we worked out a thing. Basically, the capital of Radun, Undir. Like we said, there's a lot of Dragonborn that live there, and one of the things that they do, as part of like a sort of their death rites. Every Dragonborn can sort of feel when it's their time soon. It's like it's coming up. And when they know this, they start to make like a holy pilgrimage, which is they travel the long road from Undir all the way through the desert.
Yeah, down to Bahamut. And it's actually the route that the dragon, or I guess the Holy Crusaders took hundreds of years ago when they recaptured Bahamut from the what was the threat that we had? The name on the threat. I know they're like I keep thinking I keep calling them Gauls in my mind, but like when I can't remember what the name
they were goblin and orc raiders. I don't know if you use the word barbarians.
Yeah, I was using barbarian initially, just because like I keep picturing like when
nomads?
Caesar moved into Gaul, like all the nomads, the nomads, like just like barbarianistic nomads, savages, exactly, yeah. So they just reclaimed the Holy Land from the savages, and that's whenever before the Dragonborn die, they have to make this trek. And even if they want to be, so what was it? For them to pass on, they get put into the or the ritual is that their body gets more or less dumped is the wrong word, into the volcano near Undir, sort of like as a passing ritual.
Yeah.
So in order for them to go through that, they have to make the trek. They have to make the you could say the crusade to some extent. Even if they die, their families will take them on this trek. But that's the gist of that. And I mean, I could go more into Bahamut, but that's sort of the gist of it.
I think we're good. We just kind of wanted a little brief overview of the places that you guys created. And then there's a lot of other capital cities for these places, but we'll sort of talk about those as we play. As far as the guild that you guys are in goes, what I'd like to say is the location for the guild is somewhere in Falarin. Now, it's kind of up to you where you want it to be. The capital city is Briem. That's where the Council of Ages is located. That's where basically the council convenes to talk about state matters and whatnot. And that's led by Queen Cassis the Wise, and she's the queen of Falarin. So where do you think you guys would like the guild to be located?
On the coast would be cool, like Saint Helena is
on the Bay of Fajin.
Yeah.
Anything that's central with a good way in and out would work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably St. Helana's maybe a good bet. If it's not too, we don't want to be in like a tiny village, right? Because
St. Helena is a very big port city.
Yeah,
that would be a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good set-off point for doing anything to the east, and it's on the continent, the western continent, so a lot of land routes available.
Okay.
I think it's a good spot, at least because if we were like centrally located, like in the middle of the forest, it might be a bit of a.
Yeah.
That's good because that's where the first mission's going to take place. So that's good. So yeah, I think we can get started after we take a quick break. Let's take a break, our first break, and then we'll kind of hop into things. Let's hop into things very soon in about 5 minutes. Stay tuned, guys, for more of the Seventh Eon, Episode 1. We'll be back in 5 minutes.